Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Yevamot page 87, which discusses an interesting law when it comes to Yibum. We've been learning until now that if you have a woman who is married and the man dies and they're childless, that she is to perform Yibum. Namely, she is to do Yibum with her husband's brother. If they do not want to, then chalitza can be performed. Now, this is only in the case where they don't have a child. However, if there was a child, then Yibum is not performed. So on this, the Talmud asks, what happens if her husband died and they actually had a child? Now, maybe a short while later, the child dies. So they're still childless. They may have had a child together, but at the end of the day, they no longer have a child, and Yibum would then seemingly be the right choice because that would be a way of, once again, reclaiming this man's name. On this, the Talmud here tells us that we will not do Yibum. As long as, at the moment her husband died, she had a child, it doesn't matter, even if that child dies right afterwards, we say that Yibum is no longer performed. And the reason for this is quoting a very famous sentence, Darcheha darchei noam v'chol netivoteh shalom. Because when it comes to the Torah and its laws, they are peaceful. They're a way of creating peace and harmony among all mankind and also in a home. On this, the commentators explain, because imagine, we would say otherwise, that she would still have to perform Yibum. Imagine, she got married originally, her husband died, she had this child, and because of that, Yibum is not done. She decides later on to get married to some other person, and they've been living together, and they live a very nice life, and her child from her first marriage dies. So now, all of a sudden, when she's already newly married to this second man, we're going to require her to do Yibum? Can you imagine? Well, first of all, maybe Yibum wouldn't be done. Maybe it would still require chalitza. But we could understand that this would be very disturbing and troublesome in this relationship. You can imagine the turmoil that would take place. Here we thought that we were happily married after a tragic first marriage where your husband died. And now all of a sudden, it's possible that you have to remove yourself from our relationship. So the reason why this clearly shows that there is peace is because the Torah would never do this. The Torah would never require something of a relationship which is going to cause pain and strife and turmoil in a relationship. And therefore, for that reason, again, the fact that she had a child at the time of her husband's passing, Yibum is no longer done. And this is such an important concept. Sometimes we look at the Torah and we say, oh, there's all these restrictions. Thou shalt not do this. I can't do that. Shabbat is so difficult. I can't eat all these foods. So you can look at the Torah as very restrictive. But the truth is, we have to look at the Torah in a different lens because the Torah is the way of peace. It's a way of harmony. And as the sentence again says, Darchei darchei noam v'chol netivoteh shalom, may we all live all of our lives with peace.